When I was a young guy playing baseball, I would always kind of mumble play-by-play while we were playing. And then when I was a senior in high school, I went to a youth conference at Weatherford, and the featured speaker was Bob Dodson. So Bob Dodson talked about what he did, how he got into the business, and it was fascinating. I thought, wow, that sounds like something fun to do. You could really enjoy that kind of work. During this period of time, a lot of young people at the University of Oklahoma and around the nation were learning that journalists had great power. This was the time of Watergate. And indeed, we figured out that journalists, with just a pen and a piece of paper, could bring down the President of the United States through good, solid reporting. It was heady times to be a journalist. Well, my story arc is this. Started off at KNOR Radio in Norman as sports director. From there, I went to Wichita Falls, KFTX, the NBC affiliate, and was sports director for about a year and a half.
Starting Monday, he is now our new sports director. It's good to have you here.
The defending Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers opened their 1979 season.
In 1984, I had the opportunity to come back to Oklahoma City and go to KOCO TV. Bigger market, new opportunity, closer to OU, which was a good thing.
Gator Bowl when Barry Hanna bowled into this corner of the end zone with just over a minute to play.
I used to play baseball. I can hit off her. All right, let her rip.
And then after 5 years there, I went to OETA and became a news broadcaster, switching from sports to news.
Good evening, I'm Dick Pryor.
And I'm Jerry Bonds. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It was interesting because several people had told me along the way that they thought I would actually be a better newscaster than I would be sportscaster. I didn't want to hear that. But when the opportunity came to move to news, it seemed to be a logical move to make. Jerry Park was our sports director at KOCO TV, and he told me that I was a pure journalist. And he meant that as a compliment. A pure journalist in the world of commercial television. So it made sense to move and to work for PBS, work for public television, doing news in a different way.
Good morning, Oklahoma. We're at the state capitol for the inauguration of the 26th governor of the state of Oklahoma, Charles Bradford Henry.
We're back on Oklahoma Forum with Admiral William J. Crowell, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and former ambassador to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. You were mentioning earlier about wars, and I'm curious.
Probably the thing that I'm most known for now is something called A Conversation With. These are long-form interviews with noteworthy Oklahomans, famous Oklahomans, but people that have made a real impact on the state. And it's about their lives. It's about what they've done and how they grew up and the contributions that they made, not only in their field, but to the state of Oklahoma.
She's the first lady of rock and roll and the queen of rockabilly. He was a farmer, newspaper reporter, and Marine.
So having an opportunity to do A Conversation With gave me the chance to use my knowledge of Oklahoma, my interest in politics, and interest in a lot of areas, including music. I had an opportunity to interview Roy Clark and Wanda Jackson, to interview Tom Stafford, an astronaut who almost made it to the moon and was one of my boyhood idols. In 2007, Ken Burns memorialized veterans from World War II in that great documentary, The War. We decided that we needed to do an Oklahoma documentary, and he put me in charge of it.
It seems, as I recall, a good many of our missions were factories, factory complexes or towns with a lot of factories in them.
It's one of the things that I think many people have mentioned to me the most, that they appreciated. And it's interesting to me because it was not just about the show. They appreciated the care with which we did the show. Our World War II project, and that was a major part of it, was the documentary, along with a story collection effort, won a regional Emmy for community service for OETA. We later won another Emmy as a team for the Dust Bowl project, using a similar template we had used for World War II. And the third regional Emmy that I've received came from the A Conversation With program with Dr. George Henderson from the University of Oklahoma talking about race relations. Now I am Director of Client Services at Candor, which is a growing, exciting firm in Oklahoma City. So now, instead of thinking about the viewer, I have to think about the clients. Instead of serving our advertisers, we think about clients. It's what I really like, is developing strategy and implementing a strategy and seeing it pay off. As I have progressed through the profession over the years, I've realized why I like journalism, and it's because every day is new. You get to meet interesting people. You don't just have a job as a journalist. You have jobs. You have opportunities. You have chances to meet people, tell stories, interact with people, interview people that you never imagined that you would interview or meet. It's a great life in journalism.